And good morning. Welcome to the Wake.Show. Oh, look at that. Look at that. I already have some stuff to take care of this morning in the audio department. How's everybody doing? Good morning. Let's take care of the sound thing. I don't think it's an issue that is involving you right now. So let's do that and do that. And that should take care of it. And of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. Can you guys hear? Where is that even coming? Oh, so audio is coming out of this for some reason. This is the way to start a show, ladies and gentlemen. Just like, what are you going to do? Hi. How's it going? We'll get to stuff you should know here in just a minute. Also coming up is Christmas. God bless me. Chris McCarty, singer-songwriter, will be stopping by here in a little bit and joining me to co-host the show and do some songs. All right, so output Scarlett. Go ahead. No. Ooh, maybe if I do that and then do. Look at that. I don't like it, but it worked. Check, 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 check. All right. You guys hear everything just fine? All right, good. So do I. Let's get to, let's see here. Good morning. Welcome to the Wake.Show. Also joining us today is Eric Stratman from TNL Nutrition Coaching. He was supposed to come on yesterday, but he is building a new gym in New York, and so we had to handle that stuff yesterday. Also, I think we're going to try to reconnect with Nikki this morning, too. You remember she got proposed to after the Alabama win by her at the time boyfriend, now fiance, who is a lineman for Alabama. We tried to connect with them yesterday, had a little bit of an issue. We're going to see if we can, I think we're going to try to do that again this morning. So, how's everybody doing? All right, let me do this. Oh, let's get some sharing done before we move on with anything. Share away, like away if you could. And there we are. No, that's not it. Are we live? Hold on. Let me make sure that we are even live here on Facebook. All right, I see it. We're there. We're good to go. All right, and well, I'm not going to waste time doing that. I would like to share and whatnot, but these are all the things that I'm learning along the way of what I can handle, what I can't handle, and there's a lot of stuff, man. I think, I don't know if we're going to end up getting a producer in here. I think so. I think that is going to happen. If not, then it'll be, interns that are playing a producer roles. But I think one of the very important things will be someone who is, sitting here in the room, I don't know where, but somewhere, and manning social media all morning long. It's you can't do a broadcast or a streamcast and do that at the same time. I'm finding that very difficult. And let's see what you got behind me there. Let's get the stuff you should know. Let's chat a second. We'll get the stuff you should know here in a minute. Let's chat. We got plenty of time. What are you up to this morning? How's everything on this Thursday? By the way, a little, for those of you that have been tuning in all week long, Jonny Torres has moved on, got a one of those, jobs you can't refuse, kind of offers you can't refuse kind of things with Marco Rubio's office. And no, this is not, and it's not campaigning, because every time I bring it up, someone's like, oh, he's going to go campaign. No, this is not this is working for the government, working for the senator's office. And he will be servicing 6 counties here in the Bay Area. But he came out last night to a karaoke. I should have videotaped it. For you guys because he just knocked it out of the park. First song he did was Frank Sinatra, and I had a crooner microphone with me that I just happened to have in my bag. I don't know if you can see it in this shot over here on the table. Yeah, you can kind of see it in the shot there. On the far left side of your screen, sitting on the table, is a crooner-style microphone. But, so he came out and did a couple of songs. Man, this is the first time I've been doing a karaoke out there for a year. Every Wednesday night. This was the first First time I walked in a Park and Rec, and there was 0 people in the place when I walked in to set up. Now, granted, it's early. It's also January, and there's usually a lull, this time of year, which is, whatever. But, within a matter of no time, the place, is hopping. But I couldn't get anybody to sing. It was just one of those weird nights where nobody wanted to sing. And, there's 50, 60 people there. They're all playing games, drinking, doing whatever. But I'm the only person up there singing. And all of a sudden, Jonny shows up. I'm like, yes! And then this other guy, good morning, Bryce, if you're watching this morning. Max, if you're watching this morning. Kells, if you're watching this morning. Thank you so much for all you guys coming out, because when you're there, it makes the night go by a lot faster. And just knocking it out of the park, having a lot of fun. But here's the thing. Before we get to stuff you should know, because I love people. I'm a people pleaser, sometimes to a fault. In the deal with Park and Rec is, the thing ends at midnight. I go until midnight. Well, it is very much like me to stay later, just because, like, for instance, last night, it's slow those first couple hours. So it gets really busy the last hour and a half. I'm like, let me just go ahead and stay a little bit, kind of give them their money's worth. But the thing is, I don't have an issue with that, right? I don't have a problem with that. Except that I got to be up at 4:30 in the morning for this show. And it is not easy. And not only that, but this week, I'm by myself. I don't have anybody. Johnny Torres is gone. I'm sick. Oh, maybe when I do this, I should cut to something else. Wait, hold on. Yeah. Now I can wipe my... Hey. Yeah. Oh, get it? Oh, man. I am wrist deep in my own nose. Sorry. But I'm a people pleaser, right? I want people to be happy, sometimes to a fault. And so every week, so here's the thing. But I realize that there's got to be some of that life balance, right? You can't, I have a tendency also to overextend myself and so on. So I'm trying to get out of my gigs on time. It's paid to a certain time. That's it. You're good. You don't have to sit, stand around or, sit there for another 30 minutes or an hour and play for free and da-da-da-da-da. That's not good business. And not only that, but there's a health component to it too. And I just, I got home. All right, I'll get back to that part. So I'm kind of upset with myself, just because the people I just said, Bryce and Cals, sorry, and Jonny, who came out, and the group of people that were there for that last, hour and a half, 2 hours, that were having a good time, and they were all drinking and having a good time. I feel bad because they come up, it's sometimes it gets rolling, like right as I'm wrapping up, and, that's when people are drunk at midnight and they're ready to start singing. And so I'm sitting there saying, I'm sorry again. I can't, I'm supposed to be here till midnight. It's already 12:15. And then it's the same shit every single week. And I feel so bad that I become so, I won't say, just agitated. Because it's the same stuff every single week. Oh, come on. One more song, please. This is a face that I got from some cute little 22-year-old, last week, the week before. Please. It's not for me. It's for my friend. It's her birthday. And I get it, man. That kind of stuff usually works. And that person, from their perspective, they're just the one person going, come on, one more song. But from my perspective, they're the 15th person. And not only that, but I'm sitting there in my head going, okay, at midnight, if I can break down as quick, I'm out of here by 12:25. I can be home by 12:40, in bed, relaxed in bed by 1 o'clock. And if I'm lucky, maybe falling asleep by 1:30 before my alarm goes off at 4:30. I don't need to do the math for you. That's 3 hours. Last night, everybody's having a good time, and it's really starting to roll, as that last hour. And I'm angry at myself because I let somebody go past midnight. I let a song go past midnight. And I did it because Jonny was there, and he wanted to do a song. I'm like, all right, that's fair enough. I'll let this last guy go, which he shouldn't have gone. He's drunk as shit. It's not going to be a good version of anything, and I should just say no to him, let Jonny wrap it up, and then I'm out of there by 12:03, 12:04. But I didn't. I was like, yeah, go ahead, you can sing. And then somebody else who's always there, and I really appreciate when they're there, wanted to sing one last song too. And I didn't want to say no. This is part of the people pleaser in me, but I also felt like it was good business on my part because some of these people come out, really support me. And I what's another 15 minutes, right? Well, it's not another 15 minutes when the clock is ticking in your head that you have 3 hours to rest before you get back up the next morning and then come and do something like this by yourself. And so I'm getting very agitated. And so it is already 1:15. Letting the last guy do the song. And this woman comes up, the same thing. Yeah, she's a woman, obviously. You have to be 21 to get in there. But she was all of 21, 22, 23. And the same shit. Oh, come on, please. It's not for me. It's for my friend. And I didn't snap. I just went, look, my effing anxiety is peaking right now. I should have been out of here 15 minutes ago. I have to be up at 4 o'clock in the GD morning. And your one extra song would be the 4th extra song I played tonight. And she just goes, I'm sorry. Or something to the effect of, she didn't say I'm sorry. I think it's like, I feel you or something like that. She put out her hand like this, like, I feel you, brother, or I feel you, bro. Just shook my hand and turned around, walked away. And then I'm just looking, going, what the F is wrong with you, man? What is wrong with you? And so that's why I'm not happy about my, and then the thing, she probably didn't, because she was hammered too. I'm sure in the end, she doesn't even realize, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. But that brings me to this morning, which I'm actually really excited about because I thought I would be in much worse shape. This morning, and trying to stave off this cold. And I'm so happy. Thank God. Thank you that it is only a cold, because this flu is kicking people's ass across the It's killing people across the country. And if I were to get hit with the flu that a lot of people are getting hit with, there's no way. You can't. You can kind of push your way sometimes through a cold or a sinus infection. It depends. They can get kind of severe. But when the flu gets a hold of you, there's nothing you can do, man. Nature's a mother, and it'll put you down. There's been a couple of flu moments in my life that have made me like, it's changed my outlook philosophically, where you're laying there on the couch or the bed, unable to move. You're trying to push yourself up. I mean, literally, you don't even have the strength to push yourself up, and you're laying there going, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe." And that there's people that live their lives like end of life stuff. Those that are, elderly and and whatnot, or some people that have a certain disabilities that have debilitated them for all of their lives, and there's people that live like that constantly. But let's get to stuff you should know. How about that? All right, partly cloudy today with a high of 77. Here's stuff you should know for January 11th. Florida among the states with high flu cases. 13 children in the state have died already this season. That's just this state. What's making matters more challenging for medical professionals is an ongoing shortage of IV bags. Have you guys seen this? There is a shortage of IV bags, and it has a lot to do with the hurricanes that we had, and especially the one that devastated Puerto Rico. So Hurricane Maria struck Puerto Rico last September, crippling one of the U.S.'s only makers of IV fluids. The government right now is scrambling to try to remedy that. U.S. immigration agents, if I'm going to do stuff you should know, I got to get my stuff you should know stuff up. Look at that. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Oh, no, I don't know that. This is also one of those things where you realize that, you're going to need somebody else in here. Oh, that ding was from our friend Eric Stratman. He originally was booked for 8:45, and he said he'd like to come on rather. Can I do 7:30 till 7:45? Yes, you can. We will talk to you then. See, in the future, ideally, these moments will be held off camera, and a producer will be handling that. And that would be so cool. Hopefully that happens sometime soon. U.S. immigration agents descended on 7-Eleven stores across the country yesterday. That's right. descended on 7-Eleven stores across the country yesterday, and it has to do with their hiring practices and hiring illegals. They went in these stores and started opening up. Hey, turn that off. And employment audits. Agents targeted about 100 stores nationwide. That's amazing that I would imagine there wasn't 800 teams going out there. I'm sure there were multiple, one team for multiple stores in some of these areas, but that's 800 stores nationwide. Broadening an investigation that began with a 4-year-old case against a franchisee in New York's Long Island, though agents arrested 21 people suspected of being in the country illegally during Wednesday's sweep. So the deal, they were going in looking for management. They were going in looking for these owners and these alleged hiring practices that I guess are illegal. But they come out with 21 workers, 21 people suspected of being in the country illegally during Wednesday's sweep. Daniel Lipton, Opera Tampa's most recent artistic director, is being sought by Canadian authorities in connection with sexual assault. The alleged assault took place in the late 80s. Lipton is aware that Canadian police would like to arrest him, but said the accusation by a former friend is completely fabricated. Seattle has decided to impose a $1.75 per ounce tax on all sugary beverages within the city, with the hopes of raising a $15 million revenue stream that it'll use for programs to help people have better access to fresh fruits and vegetables. The price of Gatorade. So here's the deal. This thing went to an effect, Jan 1, and there was sticker shock. And one of the things that went up hugely was the price of Gatorade Frost Variety Pack at Costco. Usually you go and get a pack of these things for $15.99. But now with this new tax, it's shot up to $26.33. So let's say from $16 to $27. Harvey Weinstein was attacked at a Scottsdale restaurant. Some drunk guy walked up to him, said, "You're such a piece of shit for what you did to those women," and then punched him twice. Weinstein declined to press charges. He doesn't want that stuff in the news. And that is stuff you should know for today, January 11th. It is a Thursday. We'll go over some of the, headlines that caught my attention. I want to go back over some of these stories, like what went down with the Harvey Weinstein there. Did you guys see the Mark Wahlberg thing? Where we'll get to that, but Mark Wahlberg, it's one of those gender bias stories coming out of Hollywood about how the male is paid a lot and the female's not paid a lot. So it was this. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Also coming up, I see out of TampaBay.com. I'm sorry for laughing at this horrible headline. St. Petersburg ranked among worst places to die. Well, then come here to live. Bear attacks man in Naples, scratches up his face pretty good. We'll go over some of those details about the immigration agents hitting these 7-Eleven stores nationwide yesterday. And we'll talk a little bit, too, about Seattle's soda tax experiment and the couple of, opinion pieces that I came across this morning. Not good, saying it's doomed to fail. So we will talk a little bit about that as well. And Eric Stratman from T&L Nutrition Coaching coming up in 10 minutes. Also, for those of you that are fans of Chris McCarty, or this singer-songwriter, a good buddy of mine for many years, will be stopping by and helping me co-host the show. He's bringing his guitar as well, and I think we're going to get him set up downstairs. Like, I'm sorry for sniffling right into the microphone. I'm going to try to make that stop. All right, I'm going to try to quit sniffling right into the. Damn it! I lean away to wipe my nose, then lean back into the microphone for the sniff. There's something wrong with me. All right. Harvey Weinstein attacked at a Scottsdale restaurant. How many people just said, good, yay? Does it also surprise you that he did not press charges? Nope, not at all. It shouldn't surprise you at all. This is All right. He was attacked Tuesday night at a restaurant. Weinstein was at Elements Restaurant at the Sanctuary Camelback Mountain Resort in Scottsdale. I'm also kind of surprised that he's even, leaving the house, going out in public like this. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I'm just kind of surprised. So, according to TMZ, he was eating dinner with his sober coach. I want to move to L.A. I want to move to Hollywood. They have everything. They have sober coaches. Speaking of which, one of my, how are you guys doing on your New Year's resolution? I didn't want to bring this up until Monday, like 2 weeks in, and then, post a little question. So I'll do that. But just out of curiosity, how is everybody doing on their New Year's resolutions? Did you have one? Did you have multiple resolutions? I'm doing, well, I don't know if it's really a resolution. For me, it was, I wanted to give my liver a break in the month of January. So no drinking and alcohol in the month of January. And actually, I think I told you guys this as it was going into, the end of the year and thinking about these things. There was 2 things on my list: Diet Coke and alcohol, to give up in the month, like just get it out of my system for the month of January. I drink way too much Diet Coke every single day, and as far as beer goes, alcohol, I Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays I'll usually have a beer or 2, or if it's karaoke, 4 over a 4-hour period. And so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because I'm in these social settings, I'll usually have some pops, and then of course the weekend, if you're out dinner Friday or Saturday, they're going to be drinking then too, and that's not even including your Sunday fun days. So I was like, I need to give my liver a break. And so I decided that it would be easier for me to give up beer, give up alcohol for a month than it would to give up Diet Coke for a month. The hilarious thing is, and I know we'll be talking to Eric Stratman here in a minute, but when I told him this, he said I made the wrong decision. He said you should have kept alcohol in your diet and got rid of that diet crap. That Diet Coke. So we'll talk more about that with him when he comes up, when he comes on the show here in just a couple minutes. So a sober coach, he's chilling with a sober coach when 2 men sat at a table next to him. One of the men, Steve, tells TMZ he walked up to Weinstein and told him he loved his movies and would like to take a photo with him. Steve says Weinstein became belligerent and told him to buzz off. Now, the manager there at the restaurant said that's not the way this went down. The manager says that the guy, Steve, says Weinstein became belligerent. The manager said he was not belligerent. She says to the contrary, he was very sweet about it and said, I'd rather not take a picture right now. The manager says the 2 shook hands and Steve went back to his table and continued to drink and drink and drink. Around 9 p.m., Weinstein and his sober coach, I gotta drink my coffee when just saying sober coach. Sniffle. Sniff. Weinstein and sober coach got up to leave at the same time Steve and his dinner companions were leaving. Steve tells TMZ he had quite a bit to drink. Told his friend to fire up the video camera and to watch this. He said, start recording what's about to happen. So Steve walked up to Weinstein at that point, once the video was rolling, and said, you're such a piece of shit for what you did to these women, and then punched him in the face twice. He says Weinstein stumbled backward and almost fell. Now, one of the managers at the restaurant says neither attempted punch connected. So this drunk guy was telling TMZ that he punched him in the face twice and that Weinstein stumbled back. The restaurant manager says, no, this guy threw 2 punches, but it didn't connect. The guy was too drunk and out of control. Both sides agree the person who filmed the incident asked Weinstein if he wanted to call the police, but Weinstein declined and everybody left the restaurant. Does that surprise anybody that he didn't want to be in the news over this? I don't know how you end up go to public like that if you're Harvey Weinstein, or if I'm going to draw a lot of make a lot of assumptions. I don't know the guy. He has not been convicted of anything, but obviously there is a lot out there concerning him. But how do you go out, because you're going to sit down and a female waitress server comes up and you're the monster that's in the news that allegedly has not just flirted aggressively, but you're down. I mean, the allegations are of a horrible psychotic predator. But you're out with your sober coach at a Scottsdale restaurant just doing it up. I don't know. I guess that doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Mark Wahlberg, this is, I don't know if you guys saw this headline or not this morning, but Mark Wahlberg is in the news because of a reshoot. You know how that Kevin Spacey movie, they had to reshoot his scenes with Christopher Plummer, All the Money in the World, the movie that I'm talking about. Well, Mark Wahlberg was paid $1.5 million for reshooting his scenes. So he had to go in and reshoot. They had to go in and reshoot scenes because they had to get rid of Kevin Spacey and bring in Christopher Plummer, right? Well, the female co-star, Michelle Williams, earned less than $1,000 for the additional work. And so this is a story. I don't know if it's a story or not. The film had to, because here's the thing, this is about equality, gender equality and pay and, that kind of stuff, which I get. But, when you have agents in there negotiating things for you, and you have one agent goes in there and negotiates something great for one client and not for the other, it's not the same, it's the same agency. And this is the one little thing that, puts a wrinkle in it for me, is that it is the same agency, not necessarily the same agent, but the same agency that negotiated this stuff. So when they went back to Mark Wahlberg and said, hey, man, with this Kevin Spacey stuff, the way it went down, we got to reshoot some stuff. Do you mind coming back? Well, his people go, well, of course we'll come back for $1.5 million. And I guess when they went to Michelle Williams and said the same thing, she said, sure, I'll come back. And that's it. And all she got was a per diem. And so that amounted to like $80. I don't know. It's $80. I don't know. An $80 per diem totaling less than $1,000 according to USA Today. So on one hand, this does seem a little left up. But when you got people in there negotiating contracts, I don't know that this is one of those gender things. Now, while Scott previously told USA Today that only Plummer was paid for the additional filming, USA Today reported that Wahlberg's team negotiated a deal for the actor to receive $1.5 million. Well, Williams wasn't told about the deal, and as a result only received an $80 per diem totaling less than $1,000. Williams and Wahlberg are represented by the same agency, and that is the one weird thing, is that they are, you would think they'd be on the same page, but maybe not. You should have salespeople at one company not be on the same page, going out after clients and stuff like that. And if they have, even though they're the same agency, but that have two different agents, then I can see this happening. Williams was nominated for a Golden Globe for her role in the film. Nearly everyone in attendance at the Golden Globes on Sunday wore black in show of solidarity against a culture of sexual misconduct in the entertainment industry. Hollywood took center stage last year as women and men came forward. So is this one of those? Is this an example of gender inequality? Am I just being a man and going, this is BS? If you want that $1.5 million, then have your team go in and negotiate for $1.5 million. And that's the way because this is different. This is different than your punching a time clock world. If in the punching the time clock world, then yes, everybody needs to be making the same. But in the world of entertainment like this, you negotiate your own contracts. So get in there, get this guy's agent, get Mark Wahlberg's agent to go and negotiate. Now, if it's the same agent, like I said, it's the same agency. If it is the same agent and they just kind of let this, slide, yeah, that's a little left. I would say that's a little on the messed up side there. But no, a lot on the messed up. If it is the same agent, then it is a lot messed up. Unless you have, one client going, yeah, man, I'll do it. No problem, whatever they want. And you have the other one going, I'll do it if they give me $1 million. and you go do what you got to do. Let's go ahead and fire up Eric. All right, for those of you that are following along and you're trying to get in shape and all that good stuff. Oh, well, let's make sure my TV is on here behind me. It looks like it has turned off on me. We'll get Eric fired up. And there we go. We'll talk a little nutrition, a little motivation for those of you that are trying to lose weight and whatnot. There you are, buddy. Now, come on. Work. Work. I don't hear. See, that's... USB. Oh, there we go. It's working. It's working just fine. It is working just fine. What will he have for us today? What will Eric have for us today? Will he have some a special sound effect or video effect on what he's doing? Will we have one of his kids' toys as a prop? We will soon. Well, I think we'll soon find out. Coming up next hour, we have Chris McCarty coming by the studio. As I continue to figure out all the buttons around, figure out all the switches, the buttons around here. Come on, man. Let's try that again. Right. Try that again here in a second. Thank you so much for the support on the show here. And I know it's been kind of a bumpy week for me, and I appreciate you guys being there. I can't, there are little things along the way that I can't, that. Oh, here we go. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Here we go. Hold on. For some reason, I'm getting an audio situation very similar to yesterday. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's happening again. Hold on, Eric. How you doing this morning, bud? I'm doing well. How are you? Well, I'm a little perplexed. I'm trying to bring you up here so I can hear you, and for the second day in a row, I'm having issues on my audio when it comes to a messenger, and that is a little on the frustrating side. I can't lie.
Would you like me to call you on a different line?
Well, here's the thing, is you are coming through loud and clear on the speakers on my laptop that is sitting in front of me, which makes no sense whatsoever because the output is for the USB MX-X or MG-XU, so it should be going to my board over here. And it is not, and that is very maddening. Let me see. Is there a way to? I don't even know, buddy. I don't even know. Can I try calling you back a couple minutes?
Do it.
All right, man. Thank you. Did you hear that? The reason I say did you hear that is because that was audio coming from my board. So the audio does work coming from my computer, but for some reason the last 2 days as we're trying to connect with people, the messenger calls are not coming through, and it doesn't make any sense to me. And it is very maddening, obviously, especially when you're counting on the guests on your show. Or looking forward to having these guests on your show, and then it's not happening. So I want to see if I can go into mute tab. All right, my tab's not muted. There's no audio. Like if you go into preferences in your audio, in Google and stuff like that, or your Chrome, it's not going to do anything, right? So let's try this again. So when I was calling him, all right, so there it is. See, everybody, we can hear it. So it's not me. And then call failed. Not this week. Not this week. It's hard enough. All right, so now you can hear he's calling in. We can hear it. Can I hear you now?
Can you hear me now?
All right, you sound great now. How are you doing this morning? Jeez. How are you?
I wanted that Deadpool lead-in to be a lot better.
That is, I don't know what happened there, but man, welcome back to the show. How are you this morning?
Good. Yourself? Good morning. Doing
all right. A little under the weather this week.
Okay.
How about you?
Doing well. Just enjoying the weather. You know, I think we're up to we're having a heat wave. What is it? 39 degrees right now.
39.
Yeah, I never thought that'd be warm, but when when you suffered from negative temperatures for about a week, you start to appreciate, non-freezing temperatures. So it's pretty good. But it'll be -6 this weekend, I think. So it'll be all right.
I'm sure, man. Well, welcome back to the show. It's good to have you, and
good to be had.
Yeah. That gym is beautiful, man. It is coming along nicely. Man. Holy smokes.
And I apologize to you guys. Yesterday, I got to the gym about to set up. I wanted to show you guys in the show, and the whole crew is there with us. We got 10 pallets of equipment in, and they were ready to go to because it's constructing it, and I'll go through that because you'll see. What I showed you last time, it's a complete different place now. It's pretty awesome. So when you need a visit to Central New York, I got a spot for you.
No kidding, man. That soccer facility you have indoors I was on your Facebook page. That was pretty incredible.
Yeah, they do soccer, lacrosse, baseball, everything out there. And then they got batting cages upstairs and basketball and volleyball. I mean, every sport you can do. I mean, you don't even need to go outside. And then we're on that facility grounds. It's on about 200 acres, and we're going to put in a trail run that is a 5K, so it'll have an obstacle course race right behind the building. So it's going to be pretty awesome.
All right, I'm on my way.
I like it.
All right.
So how did we shake up some hash browns this morning? How are we doing?
No, I've stopped that. There's no more me putting a McDonald's hash brown into a bag, cracking open one of those little salts, pouring it into the bag, and then shaking up the bag and eating it. All right.
It could be bad. You could bring your own salt shaker and just dump it in. So.
However, what I did do is I did go through McDonald's this morning. One of the issues that I'm having in the morning is just I need to prepare my breakfast the night before.
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing a good job. I'm not even really hungry when I'm first getting ready in the morning. So it's not like until I get on the road that I even start to feel hungry.
Right.
And I don't know what it is. And I know it has a lot to do because that McGriddle is, it's comfort food.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And I think the stresses of right now in my life, it's just fitting perfectly in the morning. It sucks. Not only that, but I was also out in the club.
Oh yeah, Wednesday night, right?
Yeah, Wednesday night karaoke at a Park and Rec, and so I was there. I didn't leave until 12:45 last night or this morning.
And what time do you get up for this?
And so my alarm went off at 4. I set it late. I set it very late, 4:44.
Oh my goodness!
And
I get up at 4:15 to go to the gym, but. Wow.
Yeah.
But I didn't go to bed at 12:45.
Right. And that's the thing. So then I'm up. There's no way that I'm going to eat breakfast at home. I'm going to get on the road, get moving, grab something and eat it on the way in. That's what seems right for me. But obviously having a McGriddle 3 days a week is not good for you.
Right. But again, we look at, if that's something that helps you getting through your day, it's a convenience side. If you're logging it, you're fine. Oh, I'm so proud of you. Look at that. Is that the high quality H2O?
Oh, they didn't see. Let me put it back on camera. I was
there.
Yeah. This is what turns Eric on, watching somebody drink water. Look at his eyes.
Oh man. Well, it could be a Diet Coke, or it could be a little, love from Jameson or something. But it's water.
All right. Good point. And the first thing that I logged into my app this morning was 2 cups of water. at 1 a.m. I think it was when I got home. I had a big glass of water and went, well, wait a second. I will be talking to Eric this morning. Let me just go ahead and log this in so we can see I had some water today.
Nice. Excellent. Yeah, and then going back to having that routine in the morning, that's always typically something tough for people, and that's where I have people fall back to either a protein bar. I'm a big fan of Quest bars. They got a high fiber. It's a gluten-free bar, but I mean they've got tons of flavors for people to have. But it's about 20 grams of protein, 25 grams of carbs, depending on the bar. That's always something good to keep in a car or at work or even on the counter, so you're able to go get it done. Or doing a piece of fruit and a protein shake, something super easy that you're going to be able to, take with you. Obviously, it's going to be a lot more cost effective than, the McGriddle, but health effective. It's there. So if you have that off lunch, you already had, something good for breakfast. So it's not, off breakfast, off lunch, off dinner. So,
in the morning, you'll see a lot of guys that work, out of their trucks. At your 7-Elevens and your Quick Stops, they're going in. They do the same thing every morning. They'll grab that breakfast sandwich or a donut and a big ass coffee and head back out the door. Yep. And then they're going out to do physical labor, going to work hard all day long. I'm assuming that's probably not the best way to start your day.
Definitely not. I mean, that's the thing. And even going back to the McGriddle, when you start your day with something super high fat food, it slows digestion, which slows all processes of your body. I mean, we have a certain amount of fat we want to eat every day, but we want to definitely maximize our energy, and getting a protein and carbohydrate by itself is there. I mean, those guys, it's tough to, change up what they're eating, but if we can ensure that they're putting good things in their body, with that overall picture, because again, we're not here to totally uproot somebody's habits and then try to implement something that's not going to be, something they can maintain over a long period of time. Now it's have that, if that's their breakfast sandwich or you have your McGriddle, that's okay as long as it works out. I mean, those physical labor guys are getting after it. But it's funny, you see some of these guys that are probably the most physical people in work, but some of them are the most overweight people you've ever seen because their meals are binges. I had recently a guy up here that owns an asphalt company, and him and his son that I was doing their nutrition for, and these guys were well over 300 pounds. So, and then now the son's down to 242 from 305, which is a big jump, and the dad's already down 40 pounds himself as well. But it's amazing when you just log your nutrition, what ends up happening. It's not that, one of them's doing CrossFit, one's not, and it's not saying that's the end all be all. I feel that's the best source of exercise, but, just walking is good. It's really getting that nutrition under control is what people need to understand. It's not just exercise.
We've heard a lot over the years that, ideally you would like to eat every 2 hours or every 3 hours or something like that. Smaller meals and this and this and this. But I run into a people all the time who don't eat. Like, they don't eat breakfast. They might have a little something at lunch, and then the reason what sparked this question was you talking about people, how they'll just binge eat,
right,
and then just eat a huge dinner, and that's about all they eat. Is it a to each their own when it comes to that kind of stuff? Like, some people could do that, or is that kind of a lifestyle eventually going to wear on you?
Well, it's interesting you even mentioned that, because I was going through a study this week, actually done at UT. We talked about it early when we started, when I started coming on the show, about intermittent fasting, and that, clean it out.
They didn't see
now
me.
It makes my nose run.
You were the only one to see that. That was off camera.
Oh, okay.
No, that's okay.
Okay, cool. Anyway, intermittent fasting is something that they're seeing is helping bodies actually process food, and and their metabolism gets sped up a lot faster because they're not eating throughout the day all the time, but then having those gaps are fine. And with the intermittent fasting study, let's say I allotted you 2,400 calories a day, and if you did not eat all day and then had those 2,400 calories at night, you'd be fine, and we still would be able to achieve the goals we're looking for. and somewhat a little bit better. And what I mean by that is you've had all that time that your body's had to go after fat for energy, because that's what fat is stored energy. So if you can have that gap of time, you can prolong the gap of time. Not everybody agrees with me on this, but if you prolong that gap of time between meals, as well as from when you're going to have your initial meal or what's breakfast, is you're awful entertaining this morning, by the way. I'm enjoying this.
Well, wait till you watch this back too, because I'm enjoying this too.
I'm gonna have to check that out. But
I've got an Inception split screen going on, so you'll understand what that means when you watch this thing back. Well, the reason that these questions are kind of fascinating to me is because, well, I think about where we came from as humanity. It wasn't always that we could eat every 2 hours. No. You know, I think of other parts of the third world, you know, that they can go, most of the day before they even just have water and a meal. Yet we're able to survive, forever. Right. Not having these perfect diets,
Absolutely. And that's where, I want people to really understand that it's not 6 meals every 3 hours or 7 meals every 2 hours. It's literally eat when you can and put yourself in a position that you're going after that protein, fat, and carb goal, not just a calorie goal. But again, logging it is so key, because it's a big eye opener. And I'm sure, you can agree that now that you see what you're eating every day and how much of it you're eating, it's no longer like, holy crap, I used to eat way more than this, or very different foods. This is how we're going to be able to see the results quickly and effectively.
By the way, I want you to know, if when you're following my stuff, and you see, like, he couldn't have had a ham sandwich for breakfast and a ham sandwich for lunch. I'm not. That's real. I'm not just going, well, I need to put in something, let me just throw in a ham sandwich. No,
I believe you.
So before I get you off, my last question then is meal prepping for breakfast. Because if I'm meal prepping for breakfast, for me, it's going to be something in the sandwich category, something easy.
Yeah. So if you're a sandwich guy, and that's fine, I would rather see you eat a ham sandwich than a McGriddle. You know exactly what's going in. You can pick a bread that doesn't have high fructose corn syrup. You could get some kind of tortilla wrap or something. Obviously, you don't have time to make eggs and bacon and sit down to a breakfast. But and like I said, going back to, if it's a bar or it's a shake with a piece of fruit, a banana or a pear is a go-to for me. Good carbohydrate profile, good fiber profile. And that's something that's going to give you those quality foods, and suggest keeping that stuff at work too. So it's important to be able to snack on something that is going to be in the wheelhouse of what we're looking to achieve, not what am I going to do and hit a vending machine and chips or candy.
Oh, yeah. I've gone down that path too. I'm glad there is not a vending machine here.
Nice.
Putting too much money into that bad boy. Well, Eric Stratman, thank you so much for joining us today. And
excellent. Thanks for having me.
We will talk to you soon, and make sure you track down Eric on Facebook. You can personally, Eric J. Stratman, or TNL Nutrition Coaching. That's the next level. TNL Nutrition.
Taking it to the next level.
All right, man. We'll talk to you.
Hey, guys. Have a good one.
All right. We'll see you.
Have a great week.
Bye-bye. All right. Thank you so much, Eric, for coming on. And coming up here in the 8 o'clock hour, if all goes well, hopefully Chris McCarty will be joining us here shortly. Wait, where are we? All right. Chris McCarty should be showing up here shortly. I'm setting up downstairs, and he's going to come in and co-host the show with me, and then we'll chat it up a little bit. So I appreciate this, Cords, because I thought that today would be I would need D. Hold on before you get a little crazy there. What I mean by that is Claritin D, or one of those cold and sinus medicines that have the ephedra or whatever it is. And I thought today was going to be that day that I was going to need it. And maybe you guys are sitting there thinking, oh no, Fish, you definitely need it. You should have taken that a long time ago. But I'm feeling okay. Just the coffee. I'm feeling okay. But there could be a crash coming in, but I don't want to take this now. If I were to take this, I would have taken it like at 5 o'clock in the morning. Otherwise I don't know what it is. What do you guys, it makes me sweat. It makes me jittery. And I know that it can help, but I'm only going to use it in extreme cases. And this morning, it's not extreme. Although I feel like crap, obviously there's a little cold in me. I know that I could be much worse right now, much worse. And there are people that are battling the flu around this country. There are people that are clinging on to life around this country because of the flu. So to me, I feel blessed, to be honest with you. I know it seems stupid, but I'm saying thank you at night, going thank you that I only have a head cold and I don't have this horrible flu that's going around, because it is killing people. The flu vaccination isn't working. It's only got a 10% efficacy. And I don't even know why you put out the flu vaccine then. No. So speaking of health, we should have talked to Eric a little bit more about this. But speaking of health, Seattle's press is abuzz with stories of sticker shock after residents headed to the grocery store January 1st and found the price of soda had skyrocketed thanks to the city's tax on sweetened beverages. Now, I understand why cities are doing this. Well, idealistically or in theory, they're doing it because they're going to raise money to offset the health costs of sugar soda, diabetes, stuff like that. Approved in June of last year, the Seattle City Council, the $1.75 per ounce, jeez, $1.75 per ounce tax hit shoppers hard. For example, the price of Gatorade Frost variety pack at Costco, usually $15.99, jumped to $26.33, more than $10. That's amazing. Let's see, it's almost double. Costco helpfully signposts how much the tax is costing customers and even pointed shoppers to their other stores where the tax does not apply. But amid the Twitter storm and local news reports, it's important to remember why the tax was passed in the first place and whether the reason given for it stands up to scrutiny. The tax is meant to cut soda consumption and therefore obesity while raising revenue for a variety of health and education-related programs. While soda taxes may appear to an easy tool to combat obesity and raise money for social programs, the truth is much more complicated, according to this article coming out of the Washington Examiner. First, let's look at the health side. They say, more important, soda consumption nationwide is at a 31-year low. Consumers have access to a plethora of diet and other sugar-free drinks, which are increasingly popular, and there is no lack of information about how drinking too much soda can be bad for your health. In this wider context, a soda tax appears to be a strange choice of tool to combat obesity. Not really, because of the addiction factor of sugar in these sodas. Hell, I don't even drink sugar soda. I'm addicted to Diet Coca-Cola. And so there is money there. That's why it is so easy to keep raising taxes on cigarettes. Because they go, well, if you don't want to pay it, just quit smoking. Oh, you silly little stupid. You can't, because it is a very addictive drug. Will my friend quit? Well, good for your friend. Still, it is a very addictive drug. So you just keep taxing it, raising the rates higher and higher and higher. And yeah, some people will quit smoking. Some, not a lot. And the rest will still be there because they are addicted to cigarettes. And they will keep paying those taxes because they can't help it. They're addicted to cigarettes. Same way, some poor chick keep going to her drug dealer, and she'll keep, doing whatever she has to do to get that fix. Well, people who are addicted to cigarettes will do whatever they have to do to get that fix, including paying horrendous taxes on their cigarettes. So the same thing with soda. Soda is, sugar. Is a very addictive, not up there with cigarettes or heroin, but it's up there. So more importantly, there is no evidence from anywhere in the world that soda taxes have any impact on obesity, let alone broader health outcomes. In Mexico, which introduced one of the highest soda taxes in the world, there hasn't been a fall in consumption, let alone obesity. While it is true that, all other things being equal, a price increase will reduce consumption, that is not the only effect a price increase has. Consumers change their behavior to avoid the higher prices by shopping outside city limits, as they have in Philadelphia, where sales of carbonated soft drinks fell in the city by 55% and then grew in the surrounding towns by 38%. So they just go somewhere else. Shoppers may also substitute soda for other sugar-heavy or high-calorie products, such as sugary beverages that have milk as their primary ingredient, which is not subject to the tax. So chocolate milk, if you're buying gallons of chocolate milk, that is not subject to the tax. Some of these substitution effects may even carry an even greater health risk than soda. A 2012 study examining an American city found that while a 10% soda tax did cut sales for 1 month, there was no decrease in purchases over a 3-month or 6-month period. So the research so far is saying that this doesn't even work. It doesn't work. So why do they do it? Because it's about, in my opinion, like, listen, I know there are some people that have like really, really good intentions. They're like, no, we got to combat the sugar industry and this and this and this. And I get it. And they're out there. They're like, this is the best we can get. We'll take it. But the people that are really pushing this through, I think it's all about money. Again, they know. You know that if you raise, taxes on cigarettes, they're not going anywhere, and money is coming into your pocket. You know, if you raise the taxes on sugary stuff like this, people can't stop eating it or drinking, so it just puts money in the coffers, and that's what I think. I think this is just all about money for the most part. Shoppers may also substitute, some of the other substitution effects may even carry an even greater health risk than soda. A 2012 study examining an American city found that while a 10% soda tax did cut sales for 1 month, all right, we've already been over that, in a beer-drinking households, the tax actually led to an increase in beer purchases. In beer-drinking households. So because the price went up on Coca-Cola, they stopped buying the Coca-Cola, and started buying more beer. But that might be better for you. On the revenue side, it is understandable that Seattle wants to raise money for social programs, but relying on a soda tax to do so commits a cardinal error of sound public finance by relying on a high tax on a narrow range of products to produce a substantial and reliable source of revenue. Because purchases of these products can vary dramatically, and we do not know exactly how consumers will react to the tax, the revenue source is inherently unstable. Again, we can look at Philadelphia, where the revenue from the soda tax has not kept pace with the expectations, coming in at a $7 million below projections for the first year. I appreciate that. You got people out there trying to look out for you for us on one hand, but on the other hand, I don't think this is likely the best way to handle that. It's the Wake.Show. I'm Fisher. Thank you so much for tuning in. Coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, if all goes well. Oh, jeez, man. Again, we're going to have to eventually. I think I'm here. Okay. Let's see. Chords. I think our guest is here. Right next door. All the not all of them, but a lot of the guests that we have coming by here end up going next door because the building that we're in is a kind of a nondescript looking warehouse looking place with these big garage doors out front. Well, right next door is the Bubba Radio Network, Bubba the Love Sponge. And literally next door. I don't mean next door like the next block over. He's next door. And so you can tell that looks like a studio. So people pull in there first and they're looking around. They'll walk in and Bubba's people are like, I don't know who you're here to see, but we'll take you. And so Chris is next door. If he doesn't end up on Bubba's show, he'll be on this show here in just a few minutes. But I told him to bring I really wanted him to come in just because, he's a good friend of mine, charismatic guy. I think it'll be good conversation. It's always good conversation with him. But he's also a great singer-songwriter. So I asked him because, I really wanted him to come in and co-host the show with me. But I love if he would play as well. And I threw it out there. I said, hey, man, you don't have to bring your guitar if you just want to come in and just chill and we'll talk. And he said, no, I'm bringing my guitar. So we'll have him set up downstairs and do a little sound check. It'll probably take him about 15 minutes or so. And then we'll have him come up here. We'll chat a little bit and then go back downstairs for a little music at the end of the show. Also, speaking of which, if you guys don't mind, we'll do a little producer stuff right now. Also, is Nikki coming back on? ? And is that going to be at 8:30? ? For those of you that are looking to intern, please give us contact us and we'll get you in here. While we're waiting on that, we'll delve into a couple. Let me hit stuff you should know. We'll come back to some stories like this 7-Eleven thing, which is interesting. Partly Clat, let's go ahead and take care of stuff you should know for today. Hey, how are you?
Lost another one at Bubba's.
Isn't that funny? There he is. All right, we'll talk. We'll go ahead and bring Chris in right now. Yeah, you can go ahead and bring this camera, back over that way. How are you, man?
I'm here, man.
Welcome in. Let me get a better shot. There we go. Let's do that. Or I can come here as you're sitting down.
What's up, little guy?
How you doing? Grab that microphone right there. Hey, buddy.
Good morning to everybody.
You can slide a little closer to me.
LA.
No. Instead, go ahead and sit back, get comfortable, and you can just put that bass on your thigh there, or right there on the couch. There you go, just like that.
Big old thing.
Perfect.
I know. Hey. It's kind of early for that, don't you think, buddy?
Yes. How you doing, Chris?
Man, I'm okay, man. How are you, brother?
I'm
Take
doing
these glasses off.
right.
Look like death.
It's
Stayed late last night, so.
So Chris McCarty, singer-songwriter here in the Bay Area, or moved to the Bay Area a couple years ago. Good friend of mine going back at least a decade.
Good friend. Best friend.
Best BFF. BFFs. A BFF that I have. Yeah, a BFF that I haven't seen in I don't know how many months.
Too long.
It's been a long time, buddy.
I know, man. The whole divorce thing is real. Mia, what's up, Mama Mia?
Yeah, that's me over there. So thanks for coming by, dude.
Thank you for having me, brother.
What have you been up to? You dropped off your little girl this morning.
I actually that was yesterday.
Okay.
Yesterday, and my little girl and little boy yesterday.
Little girl. Oh, I had both of them.
My little minions. They're the best. But no, dude, I'm on this love train, brother.
On this what?
Love train.
Tell me more.
Divorce. Just happy. I'll tell you the truth, man. My ex, she was mean. Oh man, she was mean.
Yeah.
And but it was good because at one point I had to look at her, my girl. It's been 2 years since we've split. You really that? You still really?
Yeah.
That I really have that.
Well, I know you, Chris. Hey. When you burn a girl, they stay burnt for a while.
Just let her burn, crispy. Let her burn. I didn't burn her though. That's the thing. I just, anyways. But no, you're right. When they are burnt, they're burnt for a while.
So, how many gigs are you doing a week? Are you gigging 6 nights a week?
Sometimes more, but for the most part, it seems like 5. But there's always that week where there's someone will hire me, like the Hard Rock wants me on Obscure Monday. All right, that's cool. You know what I mean? It's
right.
That, and then you have your Tuesday, and so there have been times I've literally played 10 days in a row.
So what's it been like? You've been in the Bay Area now 3 years, 4?
2.5, 3 years will be in June.
All right, so coming
it's
up,
been phenomenal, man.
It moved from little old Gainesville.
Yeah. Went from Gainesville to Largo, and then when I left, I went to Dunedin for half a year, and now I'm in Bel Air Beach, chilling.
Oh, well, you're closer to me now.
Oh, is that where you are?
Well, hell no, I'm in South St. Pete, but
South side, walk it out. That's good, dude.
I said that I said that the other day, or I guess it's been a couple weeks now. I was talking to a sheriff's deputy, and when I told him where I live, I was like, I live in the south side of St. Pete, and he kind of gives me that look. And then I told him, Pinellas Point. He's like, man, you don't live in the south side. I mean, it is
The
technically.
unspoken look. I know when your head bends down a little bit and then look up like, south side, south side.
Yeah. It's like, come on, buddy. Don't you toy with me like that. No. Canals Point is no damn South Side.
Right. No.
So what's it been like, when you made that transition coming to Tampa, at the time, you were... you had been putting out original material, albums. You had performed on America's Got Talent.
Yep.
Had opened up for Dave Matthews Band.
That's true.
But then, you're hitting that point in your career where, it's like my dad used to say. He used to say, "Shit or get off the pot."
I'm still shitting, bro. Hey, man.
We did have a thing about logging our food.
So, but then you move here and you become a working artist.
Yeah.
And you're playing the beach bars and doing that whole scene. So
Right.
what's it been like over the last couple of years? And are you still in your head going, I still got that album in me that I'm going to write that's going to get me?
So, excellent question, Christopher.
Thank you, sir.
It's because your name is Chris. I would say I have more money now than before, which is pretty cool. I mean, I live in Bel Air Beach.
Oh, yeah.
I'm doing all right. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So on
Did you win a settlement?
Yeah, she paying me. You see what it is now. And so but it comes at a price. Because when you're in a vacation area, people want to hear what they know, and so as you said,
She's fine.
She knows a good loving. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I wouldn't blame you. I'd be on me if I was you too. No.
Get that light more towards him. That helps at all. I don't know, because I don't want to blind
darkness. Darkness.
Yeah, between the black wall behind you.
I know,
and
darkness.
You're sucking all the light out of the room. There we go.
It's spreading. He's spreading with each word.
All right, so you were talking about as an artist
it's okay, Mia. No, I was saying it comes at a price because now, like, you're doing these shows and you're playing what everyone else wants to hear. They want to hear cover songs. So for the longest time, I would play original, and maybe do like 2 or 3 covers. Now it's the opposite. It's like covers and maybe 2 or 3 of my songs. Which, it's fun to... I just like the energy and the feel. When people are having a good time, I can't help but think that this is what I was made to do, entertain, make people feel good for the moment and forget about their worries and whatnot. So there's a success in that. So I'm cool with that. As an artist, like what's your purpose? Yes, I do have endless albums, half albums, or still have songs that are not completed, as all artists are in ways like that. And yeah, I think now the mode is just making great music. Being able to keep, my legacy through my music, through the kids, and really just make a difference as a humanitarian. I feel like we pay so much attention on, might is right, and we pay so much attention on, money and power and things of that nature, and conquering, and we're better than you. But what are you gonna leave the world, man, when you're done? What are you gonna leave? And so me now, I'm just in that as a dad now, and I just want to help as many people as possible, man. I've always been that way, but way more now than ever before.
You sound like Chords, man. You sound like the guy that runs this place.
Right on.
I know
like that.
I know you haven't got a chance to talk to him too much, but that is his approach to life as well. And
there you go.
Even when it comes to business, it's about helping people.
Absolutely. So. Like at the end of the day, what are you here for? People are in your world.
That's a great question. What are we here for?
Well, people are in your world to add, subtract, multiply, or divide. That's what it is. That's what's going to happen. You got people who are either going to lift you up or they're going to pull you down. Like either you're going to be in the way or you're going to be of service. What are you going to do? What are you going to be? What? And every single moment you live, like you have that decision. That's, you can call it monkey on your back. You can call it like, Jiminy Cricket, the conscious, let your conscience be your guide. But like that voice is inside of everybody. It's talking to everybody. Whether you decide to pick up that can on the ground or walk by it, whether you decide to open the door for the person or not, whether you decide to smile at someone or not, like these are choices. And they literally are governing every aspect of your life, and then you have a destiny based on the choices that you make. And so, to me, like I tell about this whole love thing, like I have not had any kind of uncomfortable conversation since, I don't know, December maybe 15th, 14th, right before my divorce. My ex, I don't have any issues with anyone, and it's amazing how happy I've been, and I'm able to bring whatever I want in life because of that.
Now, the cool thing about your divorce and you being an artist, and I'm sorry that you had to go through all that emotional turmoil.
Yeah, it's all good.
But I would imagine that before you know it, there is going to be an album that comes out of that.
Dude, it's already underway, my brother. We're writing it right now, and I mean, and it's. And it's the title we're gonna well my I have a father figure. His name's James Golden. He and I are writing, and my first collab writing besides with my brother Phil. And
we should team up.
We're gonna call it death, divorce, and happiness. Because this dude, there's been a lot that's gone on with me, brother. Like since I moved.
Death, divorce, and happiness is going to be the name of the album.
Real stuff. We don't talk about death enough. People, they want to act like they're not going to die, but they don't take advantage of their lives because they don't think that.
I think a lot of the things that perpetuate our or that drives our actions is this fundamental fear of death that we as humans, and unless you have the opportunity to strip back a few layers, you'll never get the opportunity to explore.
Yes.
And I think you're right on that one.
Absolutely. And so to me, I feel like if I was placed in this planet at this moment to be a reminder, be someone kind of like a what is it, like an equilibrium, like realize you're like, hey, back to zero, like kind of like just I'm cool with that, and I feel like death is that very real, honest, reminder of your mortality. Now, like it's going to end.
Now, how do you address that kind of a subject in music without really bringing down the room?
But what if you're supposed to bring down the room? What's wrong with people being in touch with their emotions? Like Jimmy V, when he passed away, he was like, spend some time in thought, spend some time with your emotions, let your emotions like move you to tears. That is to have succeeded. So why would I? There's enough fluff. We all hear it on the radio. We tune it out. I don't want anything to be tuned out. I want it to resonate within people so they know they lived, and they're like, because for the death situation, you don't know. I told you about my brother passing away. Like that's real. So now, because he's gone, I'm actually living a lot more and harder than ever before, because it's like I keep thinking, man, like, what would he want? What would he tell me to do? What would and I don't stop thinking it. It's my best friend. I don't stop thinking about it every day. Like I got a new kitten. I named him after him just so I think about him every day. I just want to stop thinking about him. Every day I want to think about my brother. And so that's the thing. Like, so man, this guy was so full of life and love, and he's gone. So it's like, well, what do you do? Like, man, he was 39. I'm 39 next month. So you're going to tell me I got one more year left? Yeah. If I had one more year left, do you think I would argue with anyone? No. So what would you think I'd do? Like, well, if I have a year left, I would try to leave this place better than I found it. And I like leaving people better than I find them. Like, that's just my thing. So imagine if everybody was on that. If everyone in the world was on that, leave it better than I found it. What kind of world we live in? It'd be amazing. So I do it, and I see it in my world. And that's the key there, because it's one thing. Because, matter of fact, I think it was a discussion that you and I had one day about this, about how do we get the governments and the people in power to do this and do this and do this. And I was like, well, I don't think we do. I think that what you were talking about, what I was talking about at the time, we have to do ourselves. Yes. And it just goes back to that whole be the change, in the world. Thank you. You can't sit there and get angry and go, well, the world's not going to change because Trump will do this, or because the Koreans are doing that, or whatever it is. I'm like, dude, do you see Trump? I don't see Trump. I don't see the Koreans. I see what's in front of me right now. So I have a choice in front of me right now to do something. And if I'm going to complain about those aspects of Trump or whatever crappy person on the planet, if you're going to complain about it, then do the opposite every single day. Yeah, and then you won't see this nonsense that you complain about. I also contend that especially when you look at polarizing figures like political figures, whether it's a Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, that those people are never the monsters that the opposition makes them out to be, but we use those people to project our anger, our fundamental fears. It all goes back to what? This fundamental fear of death that nobody wants to
contemplate.
Yes.
Instead, just keep banging their heads up against the wall.
Here's the thing, and I know there's a lot of people in business and people in life that understand the idea of working backwards. I mean, we like, oh, I got to be at a place at 8. Okay, how far away is it? 40 minutes. Leave at 7. Get there a little bit. Okay, it's traffic. Okay, boom. Like, that's working backwards, right? And we all understand there's some efficiency in that. So imagine if you really took your death working backwards, and you stopped and said, at my funeral,
it's a great exercise.
What would I want them to say? And be honest. And we all wanted to be go. He never said anything bad about anybody. It was da 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 da. Now, if you can stop and be like, I want that, then you have a base plan of how you can conduct your life. You start from the end. At the end, what are they going to? You're not going to get out of your life, dude. So at the end, that. And if that is at the last, to me, that's the most important thing. Because after that, people forget about you. They will.
That was an exercise that I did to myself. It's been a few years, but basically I would meditate and then go to my funeral, and I would hover there. I would float there in the room and listen to the people in the room.
Beautiful.
And but you and I are weird, Chris.
Absolutely.
You know we're weird. We're not average. We're not normal when it comes to this kind of stuff.
To be normal? How about this? The only normal people are people you don't know. You get too close to anybody, you go see something weird, something quirky. You know,
because I'm sure you're not. When you're sitting there playing, you still play at the Palm?
No,
that's been forever ago.
I let that go. I'm not gonna. Well, let's see.
You don't have to talk about.
No, I'm not going negative.
So
who wants to hear it?
Brown Boxer. You still at a Brown Boxer?
No.
Where are your gigs these
days?
Baby,
I'm moving, baby. Hard rock, baby.
All right. That's
Come
all.
on, I got dreams, baby. I'm trying to take it to the top.
So when you're at the Hard Rock, in between songs, because I know you like to chat it up with the people.
I do, yeah.
Do you like, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all having a great time tonight. But I want to talk to you about your imminent death. Right around the corner, before you know it, you're going to be.
You know what I say? I'm slick with it. I say stuff like, everybody put a toast in the air. And so this is what I do. I say, we're going to do something different. We're going to toast our ancestors. Right then, everyone's like, And then I go, we all have a parent, a sibling, grandparent, someone who's passed on, right? And I said, I believe these people live their lives because they wanted us to enjoy ours. So every decision they made brought us to life today at this place right now.
Every sacrifice.
I said, so what we're going to do right now, we don't do this enough. We're going to take a shot to our ancestors, and we're going to thank them, and we're going to think about them tonight. Salute. And it's amazing the energy that you feel in the room. But see, by saying that, it indirectly gives the death. Mortality. It's so in that, and then sometimes I'll say things like, hey, you'll never be as young as you are tonight, so enjoy yourself. And then, and it's like little subliminal, like, yeah, it is true. I'm never gonna be as young as. Well, let me enjoy myself.
It's kind of funny that Chris and I have got on the subject of death this morning. A nice light subject.
You have a near-death experience.
But a few years ago, he and I, we would talk a lot. We haven't had a good session in a long time.
That's why it's like blah, 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 blah.
We haven't had a good session in a long time.
Yeah.
But we would talk a lot about death. And so I go and I'm at I want to say, you remember Seth Kushner?
Oh,
no. I want to say it was a birthday party of his a couple years ago, and there's other people there, including his the show host, Drew Garabo. And I remember cornering this poor guy, Drew Garabo, and talking to him about, because he does afternoons at the talk station here in town, 102.5 The Bone. And I remember just kind of talking his ear off about death and about how, he has a great forum to bring this up and really, da-da-da-da-da-da. I have not been invited back to any one of those. I have not. Well, but I understand, on one part of me, it was like I was offended the next couple birthdays. I'm like, God damn, what did I do? What? And then I went back and I thought about the last time we were all together. I was like, holy crap, I was that guy. I brought down the entire mood. I sat there, everybody's trying to have a good time and party, and I'm sitting there talking about. I'm sitting there talking about, death all night long. So no wonder I'm not invited back to anything.
You just got me thinking about, man, maybe that's why I haven't heard from these people.
You and I should just do a death podcast.
Love them though, man. You know what? Hey, look, but what's the opposite of death? Life. So we're talking, if it's something that we all go through, what if death after we die? That's real life after that.
Move that microphone between you and I there, so maybe right there, perfect.
Yeah, I mean, what if after you pass away? What if that's the real life? this is so short and so quick. What if that's the real thing? And we're all like, I don't talk about it. Like, here's the thing that I feel with me. I think that for me, what scares me about death is just not accomplishing the dreams and the goals that I set for myself in this life. That's the main thing. And I'm not scared of death. I'm scared of not finishing these things that I want to do, like walking my daughter down the aisle, things like that.
Ooh, yeah.
Those are the things. That is what but about life. I believe we come back. I believe in reincarnation. I just do.
I think there's something to that. I think once something exists, like I think a fundamental. Here we go. Ready?
Here we go.
I think a fundamental law of the universe is. I want to put this very scientifically. You can't put the genie back in the bottle.
Well said.
I think a fundamental law of the universe is you can't put the genie back in the bottle. Once something exists, it exists forever. Now, it can be in different forms.
Pandora's box.
You know, it gets spread out through the universe. I don't know, but I'm with you on that one, Chris.
I'm going to say this to you, and we're going to go there, because, of course, and this is what makes the world great. There are people who don't believe in it. I feel bad for you, because that just makes you a little more scared. Sit on that. Anyway. No, but I'll say this, man. Like, I think that my daughter is my grandmother.
Yeah, you've told me that before.
Right, and here's the thing about it. And I've read a lot of books, and some of the books talk about the reincarnation. You always kind of come back looking a little similar to your previous life, and so my grandmother, everyone in my family knows, was my favorite. She used to rock me the whole 9 yards. She passed away when I was 18, and I was a grandson that would go back to the funeral site, and every birthday would make cards and put a candle and. Every time, the day she died, like just the card and candle, just thinking about you for years. She's always doing this, and I just felt this void because that's my nana, And then when my daughter was born, man, I'll tell you, like that void was gone, and that it's more of that energy, more of that. Like I don't even think, not to be, but I don't think about my nana like I used to. Like and I just see her, and it's cool to be like, man, like I get to enjoy you as an old woman. And I get to enjoy you as a kid.
So do you call your daughter grandma?
No, well, what's cool is I show her pictures of where she's being like, yeah, that's you. I might be messing my kid up, but I'm like, that's you. Like me, yeah, don't worry about it. I'll talk about it later. But no, yeah, I mean, like she calls herself Nina. So my nana was Nana. Valentina, she started calling herself Nina. I didn't say Nana Nina. That was trippy. So yeah, man, she looks just like her. It's crazy, man. It's just, I don't know. And I feel like, just for me believing in reincarnation, it does take away a level of fear. It's like, you know what? If we can come back and I see it that, then what are you worried about? Like my grandmother, think about it. She's living on the beach as a kid, tiny little kid. Her first on the beach. That same woman was the one I believe that was taking care of me as a young, and like, so now a woman who wasn't educated, like just living in the 1920s in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Like she just didn't have that. Now she's going to an affluent school, Danita Montessori. She's learning Spanish. She's learning, and it's like, so imagine if that's what life's about. Imagine if, just let your brain go there for a second. If you can come back and you're here constructing this life. Imagine if we can do great things for this world and this generation, like with kids. And then I get to come back and let's say racism's a lot less. The thing I get reminded of Black every day, brother. I get reminded of Black every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
I know. I know.
So wouldn't it be great to live in a life where you just don't, that it just doesn't even exist? My kids, it doesn't. Their mom's from Spain, so they're both. Like, do they think they don't? I mean, imagine that life, like not having that negativity. Because when someone looks at you and they're like, I'm reminded I'm Black, there's a negative connotation to it. It's not, so brother, it's more like, hey, like, damn, I'm not going to hurt you. It's like, jeez. And it's the world we live in. So again, going back into trying to be positive in this world of love, like, you don't know what's going to happen in the future. But if you can't come back, you better be on your jolly good, being nice to everybody. Cause
so how do you see things then when it comes to religion, when it comes to God, prayer, meditation, manifesting your own destiny, all that kind of stuff?
It's a little broad, but we could say God. I feel like we are all inside of God.
Okay.
People say, "Oh, God's in me." I think we're in God. I think we're in this all.
I think it's both, man.
I
think we're in God and He's in us.
Yes, I can see that. I think that we all come from that same all, and when we die, we go back to the all. And I feel like we all have those same I don't know if you're gonna say like, I can say components. It's not the word, but we all have the same power to create like gods. Like this situation, how many years ago we talking about doing radio together? How many times have we been in? And now here we are today, like just the word, just by speaking it. And now here we are, we're two together, anyone can create. Everything you see is a thought. Everything you see was once someone's idea, thought, and then someone said something about it.
Right.
So is that not acting like a god? Creating something?
I get very uncomfortable. Even though I am not the religious man I once was.
Good for you. Forget religion.
I still, because you'll make those kind of remarks. My buddy Rex, who's also a very spiritual guy, will say the same thing, that, in essence, we are all gods.
Yes.
We can all create.
Yes.
I'm like, all right, settle down, buddy.
So you disagree?
Well, no, I think I just want to be careful, because as somebody who's on the narcissistic, spectrum, I just want to be careful before I start.
Wait, careful of what? Careful of what?
Because okay, well then let's define what a god is.
Okay.
What the hell? What's a god then?
All right. From what I understand, the creator of, things, the world, creator. So if God is a creator of, God created this world, so God is a creator.
Okay.
And so if God is a creator and we are all images of that, I ask you then, have you not created something? And the way they say the creation starts with thought, then word, then deed, as we've said, the Holy Trinity. Mm-hmm. So this and that, and then A plus B equals C. So you said, hey, man, radio, and you called me. I'm like, hey, man, that sounds great. Thought, word, I show up, deed, and now we're doing it. And then whoever's watching, listening is. I
don't know. It's very godlike. If we're talking,
why couldn't it be small like that? A leaf is small. This is small.
Well, I mean, godlike to me probably is a little bit more in the category of in a thought right now. All of a sudden, you and I are on the surface of Mars having a conversation, protected from all the elements while we're there, and we can move around the universe at will.
Okay.
So I mean, that to me, when we're talking God. So
when you think God, what do you see it as like? Genie, planets. Is that what you mean by God?
I mean, I kind of.
What is a God to you? Definition of a God. I said a creator. You say.
Yes. Well, it starts with somebody who can create a universe.
Okay. So
do we have all of us to have the ability to create a universe? I do not know.
Wait.
With our thoughts.
What's that?
I understand.
With Lauren. Right? Did you guys create a universe?
Not yet. We're gonna create a universe this year, I think.
Well, then you're God. Look at that. If you guys make a kid, didn't God make a bunch of humans? Said the same. Right. And if you make kids, is not an act of God.
I rather, in this discussion,
creator.
I think I'd rather just go. I understand kind of where you're coming from, but put it in the context of we're all spiritual beings.
Yeah,
we're all spiritual beings that have physically manifested for whatever reasons. I'm not sure yet.
Right.
But.
So what's off of that? I'm trying to figure out what the you're just like spiritual being. I'm like, yeah, you're like not religious. I'm like, yeah, we're both saying the same thing. So I'm like, what's the problem? What's the problem?
Well, you and I both come from religion, and
I don't come from.
religion. You don't? You don't?
I am not religious.
Oh, okay. Well, I come from religion, so I do understand. It's very black and white. That you have to
spiritual, dude.
Believe certain things in a certain order, and if you don't believe that, then you're all lost. You're going to hell.
Was that Catholic? You Catholic?
My mom was raised Catholic. I was not raised Catholic.
Okay.
They kicked her out of the church because she married my father, and he had been previously married.
See, now that kind of stuff, that's what I mean about I'm not religious, man. Like, how do you kick someone out? I get if there's some weird loot, but you married and you're getting kicked out because that's what I mean. That's that perverted thing that I don't. Right. I don't touch that.
Right.
To me, that's what I mean. So now you're feeling what I'm coming from. Everybody.
I think where I am, I'm still in the searching. One of the magnets that I have on my refrigerator is.
Look no more. You found me.
That's right. One of the magnets that I have on my refrigerator is all those who wander are not lost or something like that. I think is the quote.
Yeah.
Are not necessarily lost or something like that. Now, I bring that up to my mom, and she just laughs at me because I'm definitely lost as far as she's concerned.
Okay.
But I don't see it that way. I'm not, and I'm not wandering aimlessly either. there is definitely a purpose. There's a direction in my life. I don't know.
Where does she say you're lost? What vantage point is she seeing lost?
Because she is a Christian. Listen, I don't need to bring my mom into this this discussion here.
Okay.
Because I have a lot of respect for her principles and her beliefs, and she stood firm, and it has gotten her to this point today. If it weren't for God and her belief, the way she believes, she'd gone through some rough patches that it saved her. So
right, of course.
And so I'm very much okay with that, and it doesn't bother me that she thinks that I'm on the
I was
wrong
going to say
path.
I don't think you're lost at all. That's why I was going with that angle. I was going to be like, what do you mean? Like, you're married, you're happy, you're doing what you want to love, you're on radio, you're winning.
But I think there is something to the secret, manifesting your own destiny.
Yeah.
Giving up control, breathing, getting centered, getting to zero, try to find those moments like, if we do go back to my old religion, going back to those, one of the passages where it says, don't listen to the guy preaching on the street corner. Don't listen to that. Go into your room, shut the door, and commune with whatever it is you think you believe in, and stay there. Stay there.
I like it.
And answers will come.
I like it all the time.
So I think there is something to that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, it's just I don't want to scare people off. Like, there's some things I've seen in life that I know for a fact that, like, I know.
I've been there. You've been there.
I tell people like I tell people like, hey, listen, man. Like, the other side's real. Like, don't get it twisted. It's very real. But I just feel like at the end you're gonna end up there. So what's the worry? What's the worry? What's the problem?
Do you remember the you and I were sitting in your garage?
Yes.
We're having a conversation, and I do you remember anything about the conversation, or you remember I made a point and I clapped my hands, was it? Or
didn't the lights go off? Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. We were both like, whoa.
Yeah, we're in some deep, one of these kinds of conversations, and I'm like, blah, 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 at the universe, da, da, da. And I can't remember what, and I go, and it was an exclamation, like as soon as I went, boom, the lights either went off or went on. I can't remember.
I remember that.
In the room. And so those are those moments like, whoa.
We're on to something.
Well, listen, man, I want to get to... No, we can call her. Have you been texting with her?
Yep.
No, I haven't.
Nikki Quinn. Sure. Who's Nikki? May I ask?
Now, yeah,
she's a lovely child.
Thank you, Corge, for that. By the way, for hooking up my headphones. So I'm glad you're going to be able to hear this. Nikki is. Let me just go ahead and send her a message real quick. Yeah, go ahead. But did you watch the game on Monday night? I would imagine Alabama national championship game.
I would tell you the truth. I worked the last 2 weeks, Wednesday through Sunday, and just had Monday off, and then was working on Tuesday.
You fell asleep?
I fell asleep, man.
Me too.
I was like, good luck. I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm out.
I barely made it out of halftime.
Right. I think I woke up and I was looking at the ESPN. I'm like, 20-10.
Yeah.
All right, go. And I was like, they what?
Well, after the game, one of the linemen for Alabama proposed to his girlfriend right there on the field. Man. Turned in one of those viral videos. Yeah. So that's who we're going to chat it up with here in just a couple of seconds.
Cool.
So, let me get your. We're doing that. All right, so talk about because we're going to talk to them if they're available, and then when we come back, we'll play some music, play a couple of songs.
Man.
All right,
great.
So where are you playing these days? The nights of the week and where?
Let's see. Wednesday nights, I'm at Surfside Tap House.
Surfside Tap House.
I wish I had these on earlier because I realized how loud I've been. My bad, Gordon.
No, it's been both.
Surfside, and then every once in a while on a Thursday I'm at Krabby Bill's in Indian Roch Beach, which is really nice.
Okay.
And then I'm at Kelly's every Sunday, which is in Dunedin. But then I'm at the Hard Rock once a week, but they change it. So
it's not a consistent.
Oh, it's consistent.
Day?
Yeah, it's either Friday or Thursday. I mean, they're trying some things out. They've been so good to me over the Hard Rock. They had me for their New Year's, and there was I guess there was an issue where the band didn't show up in the big high roller spot, so they had me come off the big stage. We just were playing lots of people, and go in there and do it there and save the day. And so now they're like, man.
So they bring you off the main stage there, and then you go into the high roller
spot. Yeah.
What's that like? Are they all hammered in there?
It's small, it's intimate, it's dark. So like the shady stuff's going on.
Because Patton Oswalt, the comedian.
No.
He tells a story about getting a gig. It's selling out basically, and getting a gig at a casino. He goes, it was a disgusting amount of money. I couldn't say no to it.
Right.
And it was to go perform for just those high rollers. They're going to put them in a small room, and they're going to come in, usher them in, do his thing, and then they'll usher them out. And he said he had never performed for so many drunk people. Man, they could barely even speak.
Yeah. They were so good, and they just people just sat in one little area just because they were just ready to. They were just drunk.
Yeah.
People were just making it rain. I mean, it's funny. This one guy was just like 20s.
That's amazing.
And I was like, yeah, don't make it drizzle, son. Make it rain. Yeah, man, it was good. I like that. So yeah, that's what you see me at those places for the most part. But Hard Rock is starting to really be good. Yeah, that's where you guys can find me.
All right. Cords, I don't have anything back from her on Messenger, and you don't hear anything back from her as well. It's all right. It's all right.
You know what? If you weren't from Alabama, I'm just kidding.
Hey now.
No, I'm kidding. They always win now. Can you share it?
Did you?
Someone else win?
Cords, were you watching this morning when the same thing happened to Eric at first, and we had to shut it down and then log back in, and then it worked just fine? So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, well.
Where can I tell people to tune in? Because I had people ask me, and I was like,
well, you can go ahead and go to our page, or give your phone to Cords right now, and he'll go to your page, or pull up your pages. Awesome. There you go, boom. And he'll go ahead, because it's the Wake.Show on Facebook.
There you go.
It's the Wake, the little period there.
I like that.
The Wake.Show. And then the same thing, we stream live on YouTube, Periscope, Twitter.
Nice.
And then we were on an audio only source, but we're doing some more research on that, and we'll be in another audio only source here soon.
True. You're so good at what you do, man. I want to just interject. Just hearing your voice.
Hold on, let me turn up your microphone.
All right, my bad.
No. I just want to make sure if you're going to be saying all these nice.
You're going to say, talk about me. Wait.
You're going to say some nice things.
Record.
Yeah, hold on.
I heard you say this.
And go.
No, I just want to say, man, you really are so good at what you do, bro. Just from day one, your voice, it carries the presence, the command that you have. It's great, and just to be back in here again, and watching you on Facebook sometimes, and now to be in here again, like you move the room, man. You got me. I was all tired, and I'm like, oh, like step up. It's good. It's just you're good, man. Your energy's good, and it's just good to be around you, homie.
Well, thank you very much. That's that couch is laced with cocaine. That's why.
Oh, that's why I'm up.
Yeah, as soon as you sit down on the couch,
which is why I was like chatty, patty. That's funny.
All right, so why don't we go ahead and plug you in here? I see Cords has set you up. Which I don't even. Do you want to plug in your guitar, or do you even need to?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's nice.
All right, so we'll plug it into
we can do both. Thank you, sir.
No, yeah. This will work out.
I really like your spot, man. Yeah, you guys got to come down and see the boys, because they got a nice little hookup spot. Believe me. I've been to some radio stations. They got it going on here. Believe me. It's okay, mama. I'm not gonna hurt you.
That's Mia. There's another one running around here too, Pepper.
We used to have a cat named Pepper.
All right, here. Let's do this. Oh wow, that sounds good.
I heard it.
That sounds good. Uh-oh.
Ooh. Oh, man.
And then I would say just that microphone there, you'll be able to project right into it, but get that a little bit closer to you, maybe slide it to, or there you go, like that. You gonna play some covers?
Yeah, I totally should.
You gonna grab the other one?
No, this will be perfect right here. This will be good. He projects. He'll be fine. Don't you worry.
Okay.
Early in the morning, rising to the street. Light me up that big old blunt, and I'll strap shoes on my feet. high. I can play the guitar like a rubber duck in riot. Do 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 do. No, they're not here to listen to me not sing.
They actually were, but
all right, now I know you got to play a lot of covers when you're doing your gigs out at the beach and this and that, but man, feel free to pound out a couple of originals if you'd like, sir.
Yeah.
What are you thinking for the first one?
Probably the Chasing Love, man. Something easy. Nice.
All right.
Yeah. Let me see if I can. Is that it? No. All right. Do you remember holding hands in the park? I kissing me in the dark, chasing love. Oh, now I remember the way you look at me, making me believe in love. Oh, now I hope this thing will fall apart, 'cause that would break my heart. All these chances we make, chasing love, chasing love. With all the others, I never felt at home. I always felt so alone, till I found you, my one and only. You found me, made me, and you saved me. Maybe I'm crazy for chasing love. Oh, now I hope this thing won't fall apart, 'cause that would break my heart. All these chances we take, chasing love, chasing love. We're chasing love, we're chasing love, we're chasing love. There is one thing that you'll never know, is how I love you so. I'm so glad you're with me, chasing love, oh, chasing love. All my loving is all for only for 1%, and it's you, it's you, it's you. Chasing love with you.
Very nice, sir.
Thank you,
Very
sir.
nice. Tell me a little bit about that song.
I think it's, I mean, it's simple. I think we're always trying to find love, and we put our hearts out there, and we don't really know what to expect, and this is very real. It's very honest. There's a level of, you know, like you remember being a kid and you had like you liked someone, and that like real innocent, like, that's like the, you know, that's why I had like the doo-wop type sound, kind of the 50s feel, but yeah, just love, man, like that real pure, like, man, you know, hope it doesn't fall apart because it would hurt, but you know, I just love you.
Well, I love you too, man.
Oh man, you know, how did you know that it was about you, man? I knew you'd know.
It was so obvious. It was so obvious it was about me. All right, Chris, what's the other song you want to do for us?
Let's do this. Let's do something deep, because we've been talking on this deep stuff.
Uh-oh.
Right?
All right.
Follow me, people.
All right.
Follow me. Appreciate all you intelligent people for being with us today. So this song is called Timing is Everything. All right? All right, people. Isolation is the only way for me to be free. Turn the television on, it only makes me see the awful things, the evil things, the things that made me contemplate if it's too late for us. Because we make all these stupid mistakes in our world, because we're afraid, but we're only just afraid of ourselves. Time is everything, and everything ain't always cracked up to be what it seems. Look at you and me, our dreams waiting for us, but is this for us, or is it too good to believe? Every time I stop and look around, I can finally see why it's hard enough to be human with all this stuff we're consuming. I'm not satisfied. What could you need? but I'm still not satisfied. Sounds a lot like greed to me. Well, take the wheel for a while. It's hard to steer on my child, isn't it obvious? Just do your best, and the best is yet to come. Timing's everything. Everything ain't always cracked up to be what it seems. Look at you and me, our dreams are painted for us, but is this for us, or is it too good to believe? Every time I stop and look around, I can finally see we gotta learn to be, because it feels so right when you learn to be. Cause we're running out of time. Learn to be for your children and mine, and those before us who died before their time. Timing's everything, and everything ain't always cracked up to be what it seems. Look at you and me, our dreams are painted for us, but isn't for us. Is it too good to believe? Every time I stop and look around, I can finally see.
Very nice. Oh, let me turn my microphone back up there. Very nice. Well done, Chris McCarty.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, sir. All right, tell me a little bit about that song. The inspiration.
I was angry.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy, I was hot. And I took off, and I turned my cell phone off, and I just played Bob Marley, and I drove around. And that's when I said isolation is the only way for me to be free. I could turn the television on, but it only makes me see the awful things, the evil things, the things that make me contemplate if it's too late for us. Because we make these stupid mistakes in our world because we're afraid, but we're only just afraid of ourselves.
All right, very deep.
Yeah, and so then when I talk about, like, is this for us or is it too good to believe? We self-sabotage a lot. Like, imagine life is great and everything's beautiful, right? So, but when we start questioning it, start doubting it, when we start messing with it, it's like when someone says they love you, like, you start to see if they do, so you start testing them and messing with it because it's too good to be true. Like, people think life is too good to be true, so that's what I'm saying. Is it for us? Is this for us? Or is it too good to, every time I stop and look around, I can finally see. We just gotta learn to be, dude.
All right. It's something that we don't do enough around
these parts. Never do
in these times. Well, it's a completely different.
Trying to do and not be.
Well, it's a completely different philosophy too. The staying in the moment and just being versus trying to control every single moment.
And I feel like at the end of the day, I think that's like levels. Like, some people have to learn forgiveness, and we have to learn and control, like letting go, like put the seatbelt on, just go. Every situation that's ever happened, you've always come out of it. No matter whatever it might be, like, there's always an end. You're always okay. That's the one always I give. You will always, no matter at the end, you will be okay. Other always, no. That's the one.
There is a saying that goes something to the effect of everybody is either going through some shit, coming out of some shit,
or getting away.
Right, getting ready to get into some shit. We're always going to be in one of those three phases.
There it is.
We're either in some shit right now, coming out of some stuff, or getting ready to go into some stuff.
And that's why you got to look at people and be like, hey, man, like, anyone you see that's an adult, adult kids too, they're dealing with you, man.
Yeah.
It's rough. So stop looking at people being like, oh, dude, man, that person is going through it. I promise you, dude. I promise you they are. Leave people alone.
I got a question for you.
Yeah, I got an answer for you.
Do you think that people are doing the best they can?
Yes.
Even the worst of the worst people?
Yes.
Are doing the best they can?
This is why I say yes. If you are where you are at, is there not a place forward, but is there also not a place backward? So if you are right now working at McDonald's, that's where you're at right now. That's the best you got right now because you're doing it. But what's the next step going to be? You can judge it by your action, your move, not by where you, because, like, who cares where you're going, where you are, where you're on your way to where you're going to be? Who cares where you're at? You're on your way. So to say we're doing if you're here and you're active and you're alive, you're at your best right now. It can get better, but it can also get worse.
Doesn't because it's not necessarily at your best, but you are doing the best that you can in that moment. I wonder. I'm not trying to sell it. I'm not trying to sell that to people that no matter what's going on, like if you were to walk a mile in their shoes, which I don't know that I like that. I like more like if you can walk a lifetime in somebody else's shoes.
Yeah, man. There
you walk a lifetime in somebody else's shoes. I think that we can all go, oh, I get how they got here. So let's take the guy, the Mandalay Bay shooter. Okay. We're horrible event where a man goes to a hotel room, stocks up on weapons, and then just starts mowing down innocent people.
Right.
I think if we had the technology where you could take that man's life or his psyche or his something and put it on your head and you could live inside that brain for a little bit, we would go, oh, I see how we got here. Same with every other mass shooter out there.
Absolutely.
Everybody from Hitler to whatever. If we were able to put on a helmet and go, oh crap, I see how they got here. And the reason that I say that is because I think sometimes we can't handle those heavy events, so we put it in the category of evil. It's just evil, and that's what evil is. We don't like that. Now let's move on and talk about something else. We're like, no. We need to come back to this and find out, get to the bottom of this, because I have a feeling it's not a demon that it took over that person.
Right. Now let me break this down. Have you watched any of the new Chappelle episodes on Netflix?
No.
Okay, so those of you who've watched the Chappelle stuff, you already know where I'm going with this. This last one, he talked about the event that happened, one of the events that shocked the world. Little boy from Chicago was going to go down to Mississippi, and hey, do not, if a white man looks at you, you look away. This is back then, back in the day. A white woman is coming out of a store, and a black boy whistled, bye baby. 4 days later, 4 grown men, white, snatched this kid out of his bed. He was never seen alive again. They found his body in tied down by a tire in a creek, bloated, beat up. And the one thing the mom did is she made it an open casket so everyone could see what they did to her baby.
Wow.
And that right there was also one of those instances and moments in time and history that catapulted and created in Martin Luther King, created a time when everyone's looking like, dude, we've got to, as Chappelle said, we've got to do better. So let me go one step further. What Chappelle was saying was, real quick, he was saying, that right there, because of that, the lady, she admitted finally that she lied, and you're like, oh my God, the lady lied. But if she not lied, you wouldn't have had this, and you wouldn't have Chappelle, you wouldn't have Martin Luther King, you wouldn't have Chris McCarthy.
Oh, there would have been another one right behind it.
But what I'm saying is, it's like, what? And so then he said, well, what if that's the same thing we talk about Trump? He's like, what if that? I've never seen more people galvanizing together and hating on someone more than, you got Republicans and Democrats being like, what the fuck's going on? So, think about that. It's still bringing people together. So we talk about the situation, the guy who killed everyone. Did it not bring everybody together? That horrible situation, was it not a moment where people were like, ugh? So that's when I go, if we say, was that the best he could be doing? Well, what did that ultimately do? Did it bring people together? So was it a complete...
That's looking for the silver lining in horribly tragic events.
Looking or they're there. Every single event you can have, there's something else. Whether it's 9/11 and everyone's putting the flags everywhere. You can say looking. I'm not looking. It's just what it is. So are we looking for a silver lining, or is that what happens, or is everything always good at some point?
No, it's both. It's everything.
And that's what I'm saying. So
it's everything, and then whatever you want it to be in that moment, whatever you need it to be. All right, now we're definitely getting into high talk.
But that's what I'm saying. On the positive, I say everything's all good. So in the end, it's all good. At the end, afterwards, that situation, people are positive. We have a different spin on it. We're like, oh, horrible. In the end, it's all good. Death, in the end, it's gonna be all good.
Here we go.
Here we go. Wake up. Back. Death. I'm going back to bed. I'm not tuned in to watch that guy. Listen, next time, if you guys have me back, I promise it won't be as... Well, I'm not gonna promise.
Yeah, don't make any promises you can't keep.
I would be me. I'm just, look, dude. Stop being scared to death, people. Stop. It's life. You're gonna die.
They don't know, Chris.
Okay.
They don't know.
It's okay. Tell people you love them. Call your parents. Call your friends. Take advantage of this opportunity. You don't know when someone's gonna go. You don't know when you're going to go, but you will be a lot happier if you knew that you took that moment and told someone that you love before they passed on, because it's happened to me twice now. My brother Ernest, he was 39. He died before his 40th birthday. The day before he passed away, we were on the phone for 31 minutes, and I'm telling him how much I love him, thanking him for every he had been, like as if it was our last conversation, not knowing that it would have ended up being. And that's one thing that I hold dear, that he knew how I felt about him. So tell your people, I love you, dude. Tell your people you love them and stop bullshitting.
But this is more of a discussion for people like you and me, because the person that you want to reach right now, that you want to talk to right now, I don't think they know. They don't know that what's compelling them, what's motivating them day in and day out is this ultimate fear that there is nothing else after this, that they have to control every single second that they're here because of fear.
And that's the thing. You ever watched Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade? With Sean Connery. Remember the one with Sean Connery?
Yes, yeah.
Remember the scene where he like steps and there's like the leap of faith, he had to like step out?
Yes.
That's exactly what life is. It's that. Like you can either stare at the door and be like, oh, or you could take that leap of faith. You know the wind is there. You can't see it, but you feel it. You know it's there. It's that same thing no matter what, man. Like, again, like ask every single person, just be honest with yourself. You've dealt with situations and you've come out of it.
My grandmother, who passed a few years ago, the week prior, just a few days prior, we were talking, and she knew it was the end. Yeah. And one of the things that she stressed over and over again was, she's at the end and contemplating, looking back. And she talked a lot about control. And how she even felt like maybe her whole life was about God trying to get her to give up control. And but I think that's a very common theme through a lot of religions and a lot of philosophy.
Well, think about you and I at RIP. I mean, you and I, with our careers, we've seen amazing things, and we've given it up to be like, there's more. There's something to be said by me and you. People like me and you are dangerous because you can't control us. You can't dangle something in front of me and me be like, that sounds like, and then it's not going to happen.
Well,
so that control again, man. I agree with you, man. Like maybe that's part of it.
I'm dangerous sitting here in my Gap T-shirt, my Gap button.
Well, you've got a voice. People are listening to you. There's something to be said by that. It's dangerous, man, in its own way. I think that it's.
I'm doing nothing to spread love, buddy.
And that's dangerous to some people. Trust me on that.
Well, thank you so much for tuning into the
anyone who spread love was killed, bro. So come on, man. There's danger behind that.
Thank you so much for tuning into the Wake.Show today. Thank you so much to my guest Chris McCarty for coming in here, playing some songs. You can track him down on Facebook, Chris McCarty. Also, ChrisMcCarty.com. ChrisMcCarty.com. Have a great day, and I will see you guys tonight out at Masteries for Trivia Night.